Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation on the Consumer Guarantee Act 1993, which also known as the CGA. Throughout this presentation, we will discuss the overview of what the CGA actually is, to whom does it apply to, how it will be implemented, and ultimately find out what are the business consequences, whether they are liable or not under the CGA. Provided in the purpose section of the Act itself, the CGA is being implemented to protect the consumers with certain guarantees that any business or person in trade must adhere to. The question is, to whom does it apply to? Well, the CGA is involving both of the supplier and the consumer. As mentioned earlier, the supplier could be any type of businesses that generally share the same trade of selling products that are usually for personal or household use. It is crucial for the business to fully understand how CGA works, as they should be prepared for any remedies that will be claimed by the consumer if the CGA is breached. Meanwhile, for the consumer, not all consumers are protected under the CGA. By referring to the Section 2 of the Act, we can use the two-part test to identify which consumer is entitled for CGA protection. The first part is the consumer must purchase the product only with the intentions for personal, domestic or household use or consumption. The second part is to confirm whether the consumer does not acquire the goods or services for the purpose of resupplying them in trade or consuming them for manufacturing process or to repair or trading in trade with other goods or fixtures online. The guarantees that the consumer have under the CGA can be separated to supply of goods and supply of services. In respect of supply of goods, the goods must be acceptable quality, where it is fit for a particular purpose the consumer asks for, acceptable in appearance and finish, free from minor defects, safe and durable. Apart from that, the goods must be also comply with the description, sample, reasonable price and guarantee of the title. For the supply of services, the supplier must ensure the services are performed with reasonable care and skill.
Consumers are usually unsatisfied due to faulty or damaged goods or products or even underperformed services. So what rights do customers have in this case? The consumer is covered under CGA, which does not rely on a warranty. If the products or services don't fulfill the consumer guarantee, they can claim a remedy to the extent that the fault is foreseeable and not from something outside of human control. If the damage is minor, the retailer can choose whether to have the goods repaired or replace them. If the issue cannot be fixed, the consumer can refuse to repair and request a replacement, or they can claim compensation, especially for services, or have it repaired somewhere else and recover the cost from the retailer. If the product and services are usually for personal or household use, CGA is applied but may contract out this law. Contracting out means a written agreement that a business does not have to meet a requirement of the Act. The business can only contract out in certain circumstances, which are the agreement is written and clearly states the contract out, all parties in the agreement are in trade and agree to contract out the provision. The goods and services are supplied and acquired in trade, and it is fair and reasonable that the business is bound by the agreement.
Imagine a situation where you receive a call from your customer that complains about the product that he just received recently. So, as a business practitioner, what are the practical consequences you should do to comply with CGA? First and foremost, you must not knowingly sell faulty products or give substandard service to customers. Do not ignore the complaint or put off looking into it. You also must not simply accept that a product or service is faulty when a customer complains. You are within your rights to investigate before deciding what to do. If the problem or fault with the goods or service is minor and can be fixed, you must try to fix the problem or do the extra work at no extra cost, and act within a reasonable time. If it's a serious problem or it can't be put right, the business can offer two choices to customer. Number one, provide compensation because the work done is not worth the price paid for it. Or number two, you can also cancel the contract and make the work free of charge, or let the customer pay less than the agreed price. If they have already paid, they can claim all or some of their money back.